I told you people that I was going to do two types of videos. I told you I was going to do some where you saw my face and some where you didn't see my face. Well, this is one where you don't see my face, but I got to talk to you. There's a lot of times I found out I had a difficult problem in life that I didn't know how to solve, and I turned to God about it. And a lot of times you find out that your answers is try looking it up on YouTube if you have a problem, like how to fix your computer. I've seen the videos where if you need to fix your computer, here's what you do. And I've also, now when I do my show, do realize I'm a random person. And I'm there, I believe that there's two kinds of kings of random. There's the king of random that does the, hacks and different projects. I'm the king of random that does, I'm going to say, the random stuff on my show. Like, I hadn't too long ago bought a new microwave, and I like it. It works good, but I've learned, start from the beginning. After you've used it once or twice or three times, clean the thing out. Get you one of those sponges. Here's instructions. Get you one of those sponges that's basically one for the countertop or dishes. You've probably seen them where it's rough on one side and smooth on the other, and you hold it in your hand like a hand sander thing. Like one of them hand sander buffer things that you scrub on the wood with. Well, you know how they have something that looks like it, but it's a sponge and it's got a rough pad on one side and a soft on the other. Take one of them, make sure it's wet, and squeeze it out some, and open up your microwave after you've used it a while, and then wipe it down, and then take you some paper towel and clean that. But when you do the glass plate that comes with the microwave, make sure that sponge has got soap and water in it, and then scrub down that plate with that rough green pad on there. It's not all that rough. I mean, it's rough enough to do the. And also, when I lived for a period of time in another county, in another town, a person that I was dealing with one time had access to a lot of stuff that they did not want, that they could have kept, but they gave me some of it. And one of them was, you've probably seen them before, these pans, and I think they're supposed to be for cakes. I'm not for sure what it is. It looks like it's round bowl, and the top of the handles is pure flat. So I figured it's some kind of cake mold or something, but I use it for different things. Well, I learned my lesson. If you get you one of those bottles, like if you got any kind of sauce or anything that you've used in that pan, no matter what it is, if it scorches the bottom to a certain degree, you can take that teeny weeny brush on an old bottle brush and scrub it hard on that rough spot that's basically like a scorched spot, but it was scorched to a certain degree. You scrape it. Make sure you have water while you're scraping. Put a little bit of water to it, just a little, leftover of, or a little bit of water, just, like a teeny little pool, almost like a coaster of it. Not much, I mean, hardly any. Scrub hard. If you need soap in there, put soap. But the water and the teeny little pencil thin looking scrubber thing, it's on the end of the bottle brush. If you scrub hard enough, you'll get that stuff. And don't be scared if you got to go to a store and you end up with a bottle brush that's a baby bottle brush. Don't freak out if it's got Dora or SpongeBob or anybody on it, because really, you're going to put that thing through a lot of use, so it shouldn't matter. And work hard with it. I mean, like that, But I mean, there's a lot of people out there that get offended if they have to use a bottle brush that has some kind of a feminine thing on it, like Dora, and you're a guy. Come on, ain't nobody going to judge you like that. It don't matter if it's Dora, SpongeBob, whoever. Or Or what was it? Felix said SpongeBob. Yep. Or scenic. Well, you know what? I'm not making fun of you, dude. I'm actually, when I talk like this, I'm actually giving you credit. But also, I want y'all to know that if you make decisions in life and you don't know if those decisions are right, talk to God about it, pray about it. And if your decisions are right, they'll come out right. I've seen grown men and women not do what they're supposed to do because they were too scared to do it because they thought if they did it, they looked like a fool for doing it. They said, oh, I'm going to look like a fool for doing this stuff because I get looked at like a fool. I get looked at like a fool. Well, you won't get looked like a fool, but you will get looked at funny. Because a fool, there's no such thing as a fool. It's just somebody that didn't make a right decision. And it wasn't their fault. It was the inner self that done it. They were trying hard to make right decisions, but their inner self said, no, I don't think so. So it went its own way, and then these people got in trouble for this stuff. Do not sit there and say, I'm going to do something if you're not going to. And don't sit there and promise something if you're not going to do it, because people don't like that stuff. Hey, guys. Yes, I'm talking to guys and girls about this. Guys, don't be all heartbroken and upset if you've messed with a girl and you find out later she's not exactly what you wanted. Or if you had a bunch of failed relationships. If you're a good Christian man, it ain't your fault. Well, it kind of could be, but it's not all you. Like, an example. Say you know this girl and you thought she was going to be the perfect one for you, and then you go out with her and you find out later she wasn't. Well, if you can find out before you marry them if they're perfect or not, that's good. But if you can't find that out before you marry them, then I don't know what to tell you guys. I mean, you guys have to understand that when you do the things that you do in this world, you're going to meet men and women that are not perfect. And you're going to meet people that will invite you to functions on one day, and then they might invite you to a function on Wednesday. Okay. Now I'll rephrase this. Okay. Tuesday. Hi. Would you like to go to such and such? You're thinking, this sounds good because God's going to be at that function. Okay, so you say, sure. Or I guess so. Or we'll see tomorrow. Or whatever. Then the next thing you know, okay, this is Tuesday. They've invited you to this thing. But the function is for Wednesday. So it's like, okay, give an example. Hi. Okay, this is Tuesday, okay. Hi. Wednesday, we're doing such and such. Would you like to also? You say, we'll see, or you know what happens tomorrow, or you say yes or whatever because you think it'll be a good idea. Well, they gave you the invitation on Tuesday for an event that's going to happen on Wednesday. So next day rolls around, you're about to get ready. Then you find them saying, hey, can you spare some money? You're thinking, Tuesday, you invited me to a Wednesday activity. Wednesday rolls around and you're already asking for money. You're thinking to yourself, that's kind of messed up, because if you're going to be that kind of person, then what am I doing hanging around you for? I mean, I know it seems bad to think, and sometimes the things they're asking for money for ain't even something they need. And I know it sounds bad, but like I said, what do you want me to do? Sit there and say, this is Tuesday, so Wednesday I'm going to do something. Would you like to do it too? And if you say yes to that invitation because you find out the person who's asking you to that event is talking about a godly event, but then yet why would you invite someone for Wednesday night church, and then Wednesday rolls around and you're already asking them for money? I'm not saying that person has it or not. I'm just saying, look, you got to be cautious in this day and age about what people say and do anymore. I've seen guys and girls come up to people, ask questions that make no sense, and expect them to know the answers to all the questions. Or if you're down on your luck, pray about it. Because God will help you get straightened out if you're seriously wanting to get straightened out. Because God don't want to help people out that don't want to get help or don't need it. Because everybody needs help. But if you say you don't need help, that kind of don't need help, you're lying to yourself and to God, and also you don't want it. Because if you wanted it, you'd say, I need help and I need to get it from who I need to get it from. That would have been that simple. But no, not you. You're the guy and girl that said you don't need help because you're scared that people are going to know about your private life. You know what? God has characters called angels unaware. And if we don't treat people kindly, we might find out we disrespected one of his angels that he sent to earth to help us out or to help the whole world out. And just because you've had issues in your past, present, or future about stuff, and that's what bothers me. People, if you live in an apartment or a house and somebody comes to your door and you can't answer it, they get all mad because they think you ain't trying to let them in. Well, it ain't that you're not trying to. What if you're sitting on a toilet and you can't go rushing all over the place? I'm not trying to be mad, but calm down, folks. I'm not the evil one. I'm not Satan. I'm not the spawn of Satan or something. You know what? We can calm down now and stop this mess. We need to get God on our side and say, God, I made some bad mistakes. I told people some stuff I couldn't do nothing about. God will look at you funny at times, but at least he'll come to you and say, well, you know what? There's sometimes in life you can fix your problems and sometimes you can't do nothing about it. But he ain't going to judge you badly. I mean, I'm not trying to be bad, but I get this funny feeling that we just don't want to talk to people sometimes because, and I don't think that's something to get a funny feeling about. I think it's something to get a feeling about like, hey, you know, I've done stuff in my life I'm not proud of, and I said things I'm not proud of, and there's times I don't want to talk to some folks, but they get mad because you don't want to talk to them, and they're like, I say you don't ever want to talk to me no more. Did I say ever anymore? No, I meant right now. Okay, calm down, folks. Excuse me for burping. But still, y'all really think I don't want to talk to y'all forever? No, I don't want to be that way. I'm the guy that might say, there's a time I want to be to myself and a time I want to be around others. But don't get mad about it if I don't feel right. Some people just get all freaking mad over some stupid stuff that don't make no sense because they never thought to ask questions before they started doing the stuff they did. They just assume that we all want to talk to them 24/7, and we don't sometimes. Sometimes we're tired because our bodies just don't work so well. I mean, people have this sluggish immune system or whatever it may be. I don't know what it is. I'm no doctor. I can't tell you what it is, but I'll tell you what it could be. It could be people saying, look, we live in a world where we got to do what we got to do, and we can't sit there and be crying over spilt milk. We got to cry over milk that we need to take care of, that we don't need to spill it, because if we spill it, we're going to be in a mess. You keep it from spilling so you don't end up, but if it spills, wipe it up. If it's your place to, if it's someone else's place, look what you made me do, spill some milk on the floor. You made me do it, why don't you clean it up? Because I spilt it, but you made me spill it. You ought to have some responsibility in what you do. It's like saying that if God did something wrong, which he can't never do wrong, but there are times where you did wrong and people say it was God's fault when it wasn't God's fault because God can't never do wrong. But the inner man will make the outer man look like, hey, look, God did something wrong. I thought he could never do wrong. No, that's not God. That was somebody doing something and God got blamed for it. Yeah, I said it. You know I said it. I think sometimes when, excuse me, choking over here. Sometimes when you'll be, had your hand over the lens trying to do one of those dark videos, sometimes you'll see things in the darkness that looks like, okay now, The whole time it ain't nothing to it, just way things look. But people, will we please stop this mess about blaming somebody for something or blaming God for something he didn't do and another man done and God got blamed for it. I mean, I'm sorry if I ain't perfect or you ain't perfect. And I'm sorry that there's a lot of people in this world that do some stupid stunts to prove a point. And when they prove the point, then they get mad about it if you don't agree with it. Or they'll do something ridiculous. I've noticed people have organizations, groups, clubs, things that you can join to better yourself, to make yourself a better person, but you'll be hanging around some new people you haven't hung around before. And you'll be hanging around these people, and next thing you know, you'll see things in there that make you wonder, is this really going to benefit me in a positive way? And not just me, but the other people too. Are we going to all get benefited positively when this weird new thing comes up that shows you some kind of signs of, I don't know. I'm in a situation now where I could have done something which would have probably caused me to do more for God. But why is it that every time somebody makes some kind of a group, club, organization, or thing to join for God, all of a sudden I hear about more money in the story than I've ever heard God say in a church? A church does less for money than some of these Christian organizations that say, give me money to join a club for God. I mean, I'm not trying to say they're wrong. I'm just saying, come on. You go to church, you give a tithe. That's about it with some churches. But now there's some of these organizations that say, join us and you'll be a part of a group of Christians that do such and such. And then you find out, whoa, I got to spend how much every time I turn around? It gets ridiculous. I'm not trying to be dirty or whatever, but it does confuse me to understand why, if you're supposed to be so good people, why do I feel like I'm spending half my money paying y'all off for every little thing I say and do? Raise your hand to talk. Hey, folks, raise your hand if you wanted us to talk about something in one of our meetings. Raise your hand. Up, $100. You raised your hand. I'm like, whoa, man, you crazy. Talking about, I got to pay you $100 because I raised my hand. Well, you should have known. Well, you said, yeah, but creative ideas cost something. I'm like, come on now. Y'all need to quit that mess. I don't see what the point is with all that. They go on and on with it. And there ain't nothing to it sometimes. Just people wanting you to spend money and saying it's for God. Well, no, it may be, but God don't want to be no millionaire, so don't be trying to rob me of my money just so you think God could be happy. God's happy when you do what he told you to do. He didn't say make him rich. I mean, maybe I'm confused, but I thought that that's how life was. You're not supposed to please God with money. You're supposed to please God with... Now, I can understand the tithes at church, but I mean, beyond that, God didn't say, buy this, buy that, to make him happy. He said, do what I said and you will end up happy. They can't hear you. They're too busy listening to what they want to do. And then if you don't do things their way, they get all ticked off and say, well, if you're not going to do it my way, then you're not doing it God's way. What the world? Come on, people. But I just wish and hope and pray that you people get it straight. Understand, I'm not going out there and doing this for you. I'm doing it for God. And I'm not trying to make God rich. I'm trying to make God happy. If he ain't happy, I ain't happy. So don't start with me. If y'all gonna tell me day in and out how bad I am because I'm not forking over every bit of money I've got in my entire life. And I know people that are doing things right now I may not be happy with, but because I care about them, I'm not giving up on them because I know that one day they'll get it straight. When? I don't know, but I'm getting sick and tired of having to wish and hope and pray they'll get it straight before they end up in hell. But they won't do it because they like it that way. I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I'm just saying, please get it straight now. I love y'all too much and I don't want y'all in hell. Well, there's just too much I just don't want to see bad happening. And if you end up in hell, I'm going to cry because I wanted to see y'all up there in heaven with me. And I'm scared I'm not going to see that because you're too busy doing what you were doing. If I'm wrong, correct me, God. God knows who I'm talking about, and they're not one person I'm talking about. It's a multitude of people. So, yeah, I know. Every time I say something, if someone had heard me, oh, you're talking about me. No, I'm talking about a multitude of people. Come on. If you're in that category, that's on you. But anyway, I'll talk to you people later, but just realize, listen to God, listen to what's going on, and please, if you're willing to start an organization for God, watch how you do your finances, because God doesn't say make him rich so you can go to heaven. You ain't buying your way into heaven. I mean, you got to do what God said to please him.